Hello everybody, and welcome back to Banished. I'm Wayne Dre, and so we've left off last time with our city being our fledgling city of opportunity. Well, I actually just realized, okay. Being initially set up. So we've got our blacksmith working, he's building tools, or she, let's see who it is. Valine, so we actually have a female blacksmith, cool. Pin it. There we go. So that's the thing, is like you click on people and then they kind of move and it's just like, what? That's why I like to look at people when it's lower down. So you've got the children. Is that children? No, they're working as a laborer. So she's going around, she's just doing stuff. So the laborers don't really have a lot to do right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to build up our stockpile of wood since we don't have a lot of wood. And we're going to just mark all these trees to be harvested. Kind of clear out the area. Now I don't want to do too much cutting of a lot of stuff because we're going to fill up our stockpile fairly quickly. But what I want to do, like I said last episode, I want to get our hunting camp started. Our secondary logging camp and our hunting camp started. First, I'm going to actually increase our foresters to 3, and I'm going to reduce our builders to 2. That way, our builders, it kind of paces the game a little better. That way, you're not overexpanded. So, I'm going to put on our forester's lodge. Oop, turn the camera. I always do that. So I want to put this in a good spot, right about here. Because I don't plan on building anywhere closer to my storage barn, but I want a decent area covered by this. So we're going to put our forester lodge right there. So we're going to pause it. We're actually going to pause the game completely, because I don't want them bringing any materials out just yet. So we've got our forester's lodge there. We're going to do hunting camp here. And then, like I said, you want to put people where they're going to live. So I'm going to put a house here. I'm going to put a house. Now, these houses aren't really going to be connected to roads, but it shouldn't matter because they don't have that far to go. So I'm going to pause that house, and we're going to keep one house in the Hunter's Lodge going. Actually, we're just going to do the Hunter's Lodge. Nah, we're going to do the houses. Stop, unpause. There we go. So we're going to have a house and a Hunter's Lodge. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to clear out this area. There's going to be a lot of wood, so that's good, because we're actually running low on wood. We're low on food, but that's because these people took all their food. Took all the food. But we're at a stable, sustainable point right now, and once I get the lodge up and running, we should be fine. Now, until we get the lodge up and running, I'm not going to start... Actually, I'm going to... Shouldn't have built this house just yet. So we don't have enough food production to support this many people just yet. So, what I'm going to do is once the hunting cabin is complete, which it will be after all this wood is chopped down. We're not in that much of a rush. Our food is not in a dire situation. We are saving up some food. Once our hunting camp comes in, we should be guaranteed about 600 food per season. On average is what I've noticed. And now, don't quote me on that. I might be wrong. It also depends, like I said, for hunters' cabins and gatherers, you want to put in forested areas. You don't want to put them like right in the middle of your city because they're not going to have enough food or enough gathering materials or enough deer going through the town to make a difference. So you're going to see lower outputs. Now, there's just deer chilling out here because this is still a fairly forested area. Or not really forested, but wild. They don't even care that she's just like, oh hi, I'm walking next to you, deer. But we've maxed out our gatherer, so our gatherer should be okay for right now. No, it keeps saying our reserves. It's gonna say that because I think it's set to if it dips below like a certain, like I think like 5% of your food supply, it'll warn you. Okay, I'm going to deselect removing materials so that these guys get working on that. Okay, so that's all done actually, so shouldn't be a problem. So you can see they're cutting down the trees for the houses and the hunter's lodge. Cabin. Always mix cabin and hut and all that kind of stuff up in my mind. But so you see this guy is ready to take some material, so the laborers all went over to grab material to build it. Yeah, they just walked way too far for where she had to go. And I am actually going to build a road. Give our builders something to do while they're waiting for this building to finish, as well as speed up the process of getting to it. Put the road right there. Now it's a little bit in the center, so people will take the road, should take the road more than just walking through the woods. Now the road hasn't been built yet, so they're not, so that's kind of going out the window. Now, like I said, I want to preload the hunters into the queue. And then the house will get built as soon as these two are done. Like I said, I've only got 2 builders because I want to pace it out. I don't want to all of a sudden be like, okay, here's 15 houses, and then they're all done, and then instantly I have 7,000 people in my city. That's a little much, but you can kind of guess where I'm going with that. But you're going to have so many people then that you can't sustain them properly. Like right now, I'm even having issues with food. Like I have no food storage. I think it's because the gatherers aren't working. No, they're doing pretty well. But I don't have a second food source, and I've got enough people enough houses that I need a secondary food source, which this hunter's cabin is going to give me. And what the hunter's cabin is also going to give me is it's going to give me leather and venison. So it's going to give me food, and it's going to give me the skin. And leather can actually be used to make clothing. So these guys need food. They don't have food, which is a problem. These guys need to work faster. So like I said, this is kind of what you run into. You run into people that are starving to death because they can't get food. And they made a decent amount of food. So people will be able to come here and get their food once it's delivered, obviously. But they should hopefully go get food soon. Who's working here? Hunter and Hunter. So you guys should be fine. Now, sure enough, yep, they got their food. Or else they moved out. I don't know. But we've got 2 sources of food now, so we should be set pretty well for a little bit. So there's some people that don't have houses yet. Once we get to a stable food position, we will up that. So we've got 2 hunters, 2 builders. What I want to do now is I want to do fish. So I want to keep couple of sources of food because our gatherers aren't working at maximum capacity because they don't have the max capacity of woods. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually delete this because people are getting confused. There's not a good split between the food. There's berries over here, there's venison over here. What you can actually run into is people will actually get sick due to not a good variation of food, which is kind of sad because, but it's the health of your people, because you don't have enough. If you're only working on roots, then you're only living on roots. But we will build a fishery. Where is food production? And we'll give them a third variation to their diet. Now you can see this is kind of like the influence area. You don't want to put two fisheries next to each other because their productivity will actually go down over time because of just the closeness, basically overfishing an area. Now, with these foresters, as long as you don't over cut the trees, those berry bushes and all that stuff and the mushrooms, they'll actually come in and they'll be able to produce more and more because of, well, they haven't actually done anything this season. Oh, that's not good. So yeah, once our fisherman hunt gets done, I want to put 2 fishermen on that right away, because I want them to get working on that and get more fishing docks. They produce a decent amount of food. It's not the best producer of food, but it does pretty well. So we've got our fishing dock up and running. Our fishermen should immediately start going out there and building and doing all their fun stuff. Or not building, fishing. There we go. And hopefully they should move. Yep, they moved into these houses, which are a lot closer. So that's good. What I want to do is, once I get enough leather, we are really dire on the food. People are just leaving food in like the middle of the woods. Just doesn't make sense to me. What I want to do is I want to cut up some more of this iron with our laborers and our builders, because they will actually help with the growth of this forest by taking out all of the rocks and the iron out of this area, giving it more room for trees to grow, plus giving us resources. So it's not a bad idea. So our population's health isn't all that good, but it will get better. So our hunting camp is doing pretty good. So fishing village or hut is producing food, so we're doing good. So we've got 3 different staples of food. We've got roots, we've got fish, and we've got venison. So our people should be getting a little bit healthier, and they should get enough food that we can eventually start expanding a little bit more. Like I said, this game kind of goes by slow, but it definitely does work itself out. Once this forest gets completely filled in and grown and you get mature trees growing, the gatherer will explode. Like you can see here, we're getting almost 2,000 food a season from it. But so this is pretty much our primary food source right now. I don't like to see it go that low on our food store, but once these guys get up to full production, we should be fine. Like this guy should be able to produce about 200 fish per season usually, and then once this guy gets, like I said, a lot of these are dependent on the forests and how densely they are, because deer will actually more frequently go to denser forests than others. So also our population is kind of high right now, so we are going to keep that in mind. so we've got more laborers, which is good. So all the rest of the rocks and the iron will be picked up, and our storage is almost full. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down a tailor to build us some clothes, because I know some of our people need clothes. This will also kind of open up our stockpile a bit. So we've got a lot of firewood and we've got a lot of iron. So this should use some iron, some stone, and some logs, which is good. So like I said, once our laborers are done picking up rocks and picking up other stuff, they'll go and they'll start bringing materials over here. Because unfortunately the tailor isn't high on their priority list. Getting stone and iron a little bit higher on the priority list. So yeah, you can see like we had that little bit of a scare where we were down by 0. Now we're at 300. Now we're starting to build up our food. Our tools are keeping up. Now these guys are constantly being full, which is a good sign, because then they're going to be laborers, and it means we're keeping up with the demand. Or slightly keeping up with the demand. I don't know if that's the most efficient thing to have. Now I know I just designated a bit more, but tailors aren't really that needed. I mean, they're important, but they're not important, like direly important. Now our food is getting low. It's not really that low. Before I expand anymore, I would like to get this above 1,000, just to kind of get us a decent buffer going. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to speed it up a bit. I'm running at 5. I'm going to run at 10 right now. So we've gotten into winter, so now everybody's going to be using a lot of firewood. Sometimes they tend to eat more. So this is our temperature, actually. This is actually in Fahrenheit, so it's actually 25 degrees outside. It's damn cold. Now, I live in the Northeast, so I'm kind of used to these temperatures, but damn, that's cold, especially if you're outside and you're working for long periods of time. It's rough. And if you only have a leather jacket on, it's even worse. And it's going down more and more. Oh my god, 19 degrees. Oh, dear god. 18 degrees. Oh, it is winter, so. Alright, so the tailor's gonna get built. We're gonna get some clothes going. Now, one of the things is, if we don't have enough materials, these places will stop. So the tailor is probably gonna make about 3 or 4 clothes, and then they're gonna stop. Because, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of leather. We have 16 leather right now. So I'm going to get our tailor running. So our tailor's confused. He's like, what am I doing? Alright, so our tailor should be happy. Yep, there we go. There I go. What? I'm a tailor, apparently? Oh, okay. Now I want to finish building this forester's lodge. Now I've put our foresters up to 6. Now 2 of them are going to be confused because they don't know where to go. This one's going to work at max capacity. Once this forester's lodge is actually done, it'll actually, the game is smart enough to actually split the amount of the amount of workers between all of its facilities to kind of make an overall efficiency. Right now, I'm actually going to use this 2 laborers as builders to try and get that building finished. So yeah, so our tailor has finished using all the leather it can, and now it's done. So let's check the food limits. So 480, almost 500 food from the hunting cabin last season. Once, like I said, once these rocks are gone, and the forest is built up. Yeah, see, so you're still getting a little stone, a little iron in this place. So there's a little bit over here. So it's clearing it out. But these forests are growing back, which is a good thing because then the gatherers are going to have more food. But so our rock situation, our stone, and our iron situation is really good. Now later on in the game, we're going to want to make quarries. Because quarries and mines, they... So our forester is set up. So we want to dumb down the workers. There. So I want to keep it just a little under efficiency. Or max efficiency there. But with this, we should have plenty of wood stockpiled. The forest should get bigger. And both our hunter and our gatherer should work pretty well after that. The gatherer apparently is producing iron. Don't know how that's working. Are my people so hungry they're starting to eat iron? I don't... Huh. Weird. Apparently our people are hungry enough that they're going to eat iron. Solid iron from the earth. Oh boy. It'd hurt your teeth, wouldn't it? Teeth are hurting just thinking about that. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to actually build a market. I think I have enough people and enough materials to build a market. The market is going to be kind of our centralized location for people to come and get food. Now we are going to run out of stone, which is a problem. But once this is cleared out, I think it should take out some stone. Let's just... Yeah, we are going to be full on iron. I kind of wish there was a way, like in Dwarf Fortress. That's the other game I was thinking of. This is. If you might notice, it's kind of like Dwarf Fortress. You tell people to do it, you assign people to do it, and then they do it. So it's like SimCity meets Dwarf Fortress. That's what I was trying to say earlier. But when you get to that point, you find that. Where was I going? I don't remember what I was trying to say. Wow, brain fart there. But we've got our market. This is going to be a central area for everybody to come. So people will actually, there will be stone here, so instead of going to the stockpile is too far away, the blacksmith will actually go to the market and pick up iron from there. Or he'll pick up logs from there. So when we get like farms and other buildings like that, that's what that'll tend to be. So you can actually see the radius that our market can work to. So it's nice being able to see that. So hopefully this episode we will get our market finished. And we're getting up to that 1,000-person range. So actually, just to make people happy and have people without or houses have a house, I'm actually going to finish building this last house. It should be okay because we have enough materials. Yeah, we spawned on a pretty good area for stone and iron, so I don't think we're going to be wanting in that department. Yeah, we kind of really want to get our people out of the cold. So this house should finish off our people needing houses. If not, people are just dumb. And there we go. So all of our people now have a house. So we're going to see our food drop. We're going to see our firewood drop just a bit. But our guy is working fairly quick enough that will be that'll be stored up pretty quick. I like how she goes to her house first, drops off wood there, and then comes back and finishes off. Which is actually what a lot of people do, though, is they actually grab stuff from, like, the blacksmith or the woodcutter to bring straight to their house, which is kind of nice, because it's like, oh, well, I can get it right from the supplier instead of walking all the way over there. Or taking it from 3 different places. So now we want to put a vendor. So the vendor we're going to see is going to go get something to eat, and then he's going to grab stuff from... He's working as a laborer right now, but the market is getting... So the hide coats are coming from the tailor, being brought over here, but the vendor's job is mostly to be that person. Like, when there's not an extra person to bring things around, he is dedicated to bringing materials to and from the market. Whoops, I paused it. Whoop, I didn't want to do that. There we go. So if your laborers are off doing something else, the vendor will constantly keep this full and supplying to all the area. But yeah, like I said, he's going to carry iron, he's going to carry logs, iron tools. He doesn't carry stone, which is kind of interesting to me, but... Now, I don't think the storage barn is... Because the people from, like, the food places will not actually drop them off at the market. The vendor has to do that himself. So, it's kind of interesting the way that works, but... Now, I think the storage barn is a little too close, but in other games, I actually have the barn in between these two, and then the market somewhere else. Because people actually go to the storage barn as well. Whew, sorry about that. Oh, I actually go to the storage barn as well to get food. Like, that's how people were getting food before we had the market. So, and now what I want to build, because I have enough stone. So one of these little aesthetic things is a well. Now, wells are actually important, because if your city starts on fire, you need a well. Needless to say, you need a well. So at this point, I'm just gonna kind of let it run, let the city run, and just see how we're doing. Just keep an eye on everything. Make sure we're doing decent on hunting. We're doing 400. That could be higher. So I think we're gonna throw one more hunter in there, just to max it off at 3. We got max gatherers, max hunters. Fisherman is at 2, so that's working at about 50%. Yeah, so you see they're building the stone and the iron, they're just pulling it all out, trying to clear it out just to make a bigger forest. So this guy has already done that. Oh, that's a hill. See, that's the thing is this game, a lot of times you can't tell where there's hills, so you notice that, oh, hey, there's a little blank area there. Well, that's because there's a hill there. So I think that's where we're going to wrap this episode. Still confused about the iron thing, but maybe it was just because it was sitting there and they had nothing to do, so they went and grabbed it. I don't know. As you can see, we're doing pretty good on the food situation. We're almost at 1,000, so we can add... I'm going to add one more house after we get to 1,000. Because my goal is once we get to a population of about 30, I want to have a stockpile of about 5,000 food. Ah, there we go, 1,000 food. Just as I said it. But that involves a lot of micromanagement, a lot of waiting in this game. So I'm gonna finish the episode by just designating it. Actually, no. I'm just gonna. This is kind of how I play and record. Is I just like, oh, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? No, not really. Okay. But I'm gonna call this an episode. I hope you guys are enjoying. Our city is getting bigger. we can still fit it within our own, within our little screen. But hopefully next episode we can kind of start expanding. I don't want to expand too far. I know I want to expand kind of over here. This is going to be a good herbalist area. Herbalist, whatever you want to call it. Or however you say it, depending on where you're from. And then hopefully we can actually move this way and create just straight city over here. The problem with that, the problem with expanding is kind of, you gotta, like I said, you gotta balance. So, but we've got enough area that we can safely do that and keep all of our stuff pretty well contained. So, until next time, this has been Wayne Dre, and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the favorites button. One of my favorites. Pun intended. But until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.